Hey guys, so I'm going to teach commutative and associative property of addition at first grade. They should be able to count up to 50 and know how to do addition. So we're going to get started. Good morning, class. Do you know what addition means? It means adding things together. So today we're going to learn about commutative and associative properties. But we're going to also add another thing called PINDAS right here. The order of operations that we're going to learn. This is going to help you with your associative properties more than your commutative. Okay? So we're going to go through all the abbreviations really quick. I have P for parentheses. In the parentheses, there's going to be a number there. So watch out for the parentheses. E for exponents is going to have the number, and on the top right hand corner it's going to have the exponent number. I have M for multiply, and you're going to multiply your numbers. D for divide, you're going to divide your numbers. I have A for adding, and S for subtraction. So think of it as a grocery list when you're dealing with this chart. So I thought of a fun way, before we go into the grocery list, I thought of a fun way for you to memorize it. Just in case if you can't remember all what exactly they mean, at least you can think of the first letter. So I have this chart right here. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So you have P for parentheses, E for exponents, M for multiply, D for divide, A for adding, and S for subtracting. So this is an easy, fun way to remember. This is how I remembered it when I was your age, and this has stuck with me for a very long time. So I would try to remember it this way, and then later on put P for parentheses, E for exponents, M for multiply, and so forth. But think of this as a grocery list when you are given a problem that you have to use order of operations. So when you see a problem, you're going to go through the list. You're going to check. You're going to ask yourself, do I see any parentheses? No. Go ahead and check it off. Do I see any exponents? Yes, I do. Do the math. Check it off. Do I see any multiplying? Yes, I do. Do the math again. Check it off. The one thing I really don't want you to do, because it will confuse you, and you may not get the right math or the calculations. But don't skip over. If you see M, okay, if you see D, then don't skip over it. Check it off too, so you know you went through each of these steps. You need to go in order all the way from top to bottom in order to get the right calculations when it's dealing with order of operations, okay? So we're going to go over a problem. I have this problem right here. 10 plus 15 minus 4 times 5 divided by 2. So let's go through our checklist. Do I have any parentheses? Yes, I do. I have 4 times 5. What's 4 times 5, guys? Right, 20. So now my problem has changed. Now I have no longer the parentheses. I have the 20 here. So we're going to go down the list. Do I have exponents? Any exponents? Nope. All right, put a check mark. Do I have any multiplying? Nope. Go ahead and put another check mark. Now, do I have any dividing to do? Yes, we do. We have 20 divided by 2. Anyone can tell me the answer? Good, 10. So now my problem has gotten smaller. As you can tell, with this problem, it's starting out big and it's slowly getting smaller through the order of operations. All right, let's go down the next letter. Do I have any adding to do? Yes, I do. I have 10 plus 15, which gives me 25. All right, our last step is subtracting. And so we do have subtracting to finalize our answer. 25 minus 10 is 15. Do y'all understand now? Good. Alrighty, so now we're going to go over examples of a commutative property. Now I want you to tell me, as multiple choice, which is the commutative property? Good. C is actually the correct answer. A and B only gives us 2 digits, but on the other side it only gives us 1, so it doesn't quite complete the commutative property. And then B has 3 digits, and we're only looking for 2 digits on both left and right. Okay, same thing, multiple choice. What is an associative? Which is the associative property? Good job. C is the right answer. A and D are the same way, only 2 digits, and I need 3. And in B, we already did something similar, and that was commutative. Good job. Okay, so now we're going to look at different examples. The most important thing, because it might be on your homework, is subtraction, not in the order of operations chart, subtraction itself. So when you look at here, you have commutative property right here. This is a subtraction way. This is how you write it. But what y'all need to remember, you cannot do subtraction because what are you looking for in the end of the results? Right, the same answer. Well, you can't get that with subtracting. You have 2 minus 1 and 1 minus 2. This gives you a 1 and a negative 1. So what does that mean? Do they equal or not equal? Right, they do not equal. So, what are you looking for again in the answer? Right, exactly the same answer. So I'm going to show you associative property right here. You have 6 minus 5 minus 4, and then 6 minus 5 minus 4, again, just different areas of the parentheses. And when you put it together, you get 6 minus 1, which is 5, and 1 minus 4, which is negative 3. So what does that mean, guys? Right, it doesn't equal. So when you try to do a subtraction in a commutative and associative property, does it work? Right, it doesn't work. So just try to remember that, because that's important. I don't want you to get confused. Okay, so now what we're going to go over next is fill in the blank. I want to try to do this with you because it's something different. So I have a commutative property right here, 20 plus 9. So what can you do in the blank? Right. You put a 9 here and a 20 over here. And then what's our answer? 29. Good job. I think y'all are understanding this. So I have an associative property right here. So I have 8 plus 2 plus 4, where I move my other parentheses, 8 plus 2 plus 4. Did I do it? Did we do it right? Yeah, we did. All we had to do was just move our parentheses. We had to move our parentheses up forward. So it'd be at the 8 plus 2. So you just pick it up and slide it over. Alright, so we're going to do an activity today. So on the activity, you are going to create your own commutative and associative properties. I'm going to give you a bag of candies, of M&Ms, and then you only have to create one problem per property. That's all I'm asking. And then after that, you're going to pick a partner and your group desk. Whoever's in your group desk, you're going to pick a partner or your group line. And you're going to switch chairs just because I don't want you to mess up the candies of how you set them up, and you're gonna do the math on your partner's commutative and associative property problem, and you're gonna make sure that they did it correctly. Okay, that's important. Work together. If they get it wrong, kindly ask them or show them this is how you do it. This is how you understand. Or if they have any questions at all, help them. If you understand, help your classmates so they can understand too. So on my first student, I looked at his paper, and on his commutative property, he had 3 plus 8 equals 8 plus 3, which both equal 11. So he did good on the commutative property. Associative property, he got a little bit confused, not quite understanding what I was trying to tell him. So he had 4 plus 8 plus 7. Then he put 5 plus 8 plus 2. And so I asked him to do the math for me, and so he did. He did 4 plus 15 equals 13 plus 2. And I told him to total it up together, which gave me 9 and 15. And I asked him, does that equal to you? No, but I don't understand what you mean. Aren't they they're supposed to equal, right? I said, yes, but remember, with commutative and associative, they have to have one has 2 numbers and one has 3 numbers. And what are the numbers supposed to look on the other side? Oh, they're supposed to be the same. Correct. That's what they're supposed to do. So he corrected it and put the same numbers where he got up to 19. So next, I had a student who actually did them all correct. He got 6 plus 7 and 7 plus 6, which equals 13. And then he did his commutative property, or his associative property right. 6 plus 1 plus 5 equals 5 plus 6 plus 1, which gives you 12 and 12. So he did a really good job. He understood, and I had him go help around his classmates to see if there's any more confusion. And then next, I tested the kids. After they finished their activities, I tested the kids to make sure, and especially the subtraction operation. So I asked them, if you have 5 minus 3 and 3 minus 5, and they both equal 2, but one's a negative 2, does that mean they're equal? No, they do not equal. So again, what is subtraction? When you put it in a commutative or associative property, it does not equal. Good. So I decided to do a word problem, do something different. And this is how it goes. You have to put your socks on first, then your shoes. But later, you take your shoes off first, then your socks after that. What kind of property is it? So I gave my students a couple of minutes to think about this, and one student actually guessed it pretty right. It was commutative operation. And so I wrote out in the equation form of it, and this is what I put. Socks plus shoes equals shoes plus socks. And they understood that. So if I do give them a word problem, they're able to identify a commutative property and the associative property. And so they got to understand the difference. And so I told the class that now we have learned the property and associative. Next class that we were going to learn the distributive property of addition. I didn't want to try to put a lot of them on all 3 properties. I kind of just want to focus on these 2. And so next class we're going to study distributive property. Thank you and have a great day.